It's time for the Metropolitan Report, and a special one today as we bring in the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association, Curt Rohe. And Curt, about a week ago, an announcement made, something that you and I were hoping would happen and come to fruition, and really changing the whole landscape of the Normandie project, if you will. The Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association. Oh, well, first of all, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's been crazy. And the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association, along with Beyond Housing, making the announcement that Jack Nicklaus has agreed to work with both organizations on a projected redesign and really a transformation of Normandie Golf Club, as we both called it. And we've seen a lot of things in St. Louis golf. I think a monumental day for the community.
Absolutely, Jay. I think you hit the nail on the head with the word monumental. It's something that obviously that Metro and the Metropolitan Golf Association and Beyond Housing is known for, a couple months. So it was an exciting day to finally push that. Exciting to hit the send button on that email that went out, a week ago last Thursday, to the media, and then ultimately to our, to all of our members and stuff. So, nervous. I was nervous to hit the button because you knew, the response we were going to get, and how big of a deal this is, and it was a great day, and we've had tremendous response and replies since.
I remember having one of the initial meetings at the Bogey Club where, 20 to 30 people got together. We did a couple of those. And I think, Tom O'Toole Jr., former executive director of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association, creator of it, former president of the United States Golf Association, he always felt like there was something more there. Instead of just a bunch of guys getting together and redoing a historic golf course and, doing it the way a lot of places do, Tom felt like this could be a community thing. He had seen things with his work with the USGA, and it always was there. And then he started to get the ball rolling. And I think the golf community is very excited, as you know, about the name Jack Nicklaus and about keeping Normandie a golf course. But the things that can happen outside of golf as it relates to changing the community and the environment, they're there. This can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the focus here. I know when you make an announcement saying that, the greatest golfer of all time is going to join your group and help, and, and obviously talk about renovating and potential redesign of the golf course, the focus wants to go right to the golf course, but that's not the focus here. The focus is our partnership with Beyond Housing and what they've done within the community, on what they call their 24/1 footprint, which is the 24 municipalities. I think it's actually 23 now, but that feed the Normandie School District, which is, as you know, right down the street. So yeah, it's all about the focus is about the community. Chris Kramer has a quote that's been out there and we've seen it. Once if you lose an asset in a community like that, you're never going to get it back, and that's what we don't want to do here. We don't want to lose Normandie Golf Course as an asset to that community. And so this is it was a great day last Thursday, and to have Jack not only come in with the golf course design, but really put himself out there to help with the other stuff, with the fundraising aspects and all that. That's a huge part of this.
Well, and there is a picture of Mike Davis, Tom O'Toole, Barbara Nicklaus, and Jack. And Tom had formed a relationship with Jack as president of the USGA, and before that, as one of the top rules officials in the country. And as Tom transitioned out of the role and started to spend a little more time in Florida at Seminole, and where Jack is and all that, they and the wives have really formed a relationship, right? And that's essentially how this came about.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And, part of that is through, as many, maybe your listeners don't know, Tom's has a 7-year-old son, PJ, who has had quite a journey from the outset. When he was born, he's had multiple open heart surgeries, had another, brain and head surgeries. So that relationship with what Barbara and Jack have done with the children's hospitals and stuff in Florida, kind of solidified that relationship. And they asked about it, and they're always in constant contact about PJ. So, but yeah, it's at some point we had to, as we were going down this road and getting to this point, we knew we were going to need on the golf course side, and Tom had a conversation with Mr. Nicklaus, and he was on board pretty much from the get go, and that's how we've gotten to this point today.
All right, and let's talk, because people want to, as best you can, before we get into some of the things that'll be so vital to it. The golf course itself. What can you tell us? I mean, I've heard different things. I don't want to throw them at you. I don't even know if anything's necessarily set yet.
No, there's not. I mean, there isn't anything set. The Chris Cochran, Jack's lead designer with Nicklaus Design, he's been here. He's looked at the golf course, and that's kind of where it's at. He's got some ideas, and that's where we're at. I can tell you, I spent the day with him at Normandie. He said it multiple times how he goes, "This is a really cool piece of property." He didn't know what to expect coming in, and he was back here in February. Basically within a week after we kind of inked the deal, he was here to see it and spend time. And again, he thought the property was really good. So I think that's a positive. The goal is to retain some of the core stuff, the core property. But as we all know, and we've said, that the rock needs some work. I mean, from a lot of aspects. And
there is a lot that needs to and will be done. I think people should realize that when you have Tom O'Toole and Jack Nicklaus involved, I don't think you're going to have to worry about the golf course. I think, and I don't think you'll have to worry about some of the history. Tom is no stranger to history. I mean, there is Babe Zaharias and her husband George Zaharias on the first tee at Normandie. The Babe swatted it there, apparently his favorite golf course. So, I mean, there's no question that you don't have to worry about that. Now, let me talk about the other side, because somebody said to me, so juniors are going to get to play. Is that the deal? Is that why it's the community? I said, no, you don't understand. With Beyond Housing involved, I mean, I think it's somewhat safe to say there'll be jobs for people in the area.
Right.
There'll be resources for training. Yep. There'll be caddy situations. There'll be food and beverage situations. There may even get to be at a point a classroom environment type of situation. As that starts to evolve, there are going to be different pieces. I think both you and I would say junior golf can't change a community. That's why these other things are going to be a major part of it, getting people involved and making it feel like it's partly theirs.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And, it's using the two leading educational institutions in the area, Normandie High School and University of Missouri St. Louis. There's opportunities there for programs, whether it's through the university, hospitality. There. You mentioned jobs. They're going to create some jobs for for the residents in the area. You mentioned the caddy program. I don't think it's really been formally announced, but we're working with the Western Golf Foundation, or the WGA, Western Golf Association, sorry. And the plan is to have a caddy program there this summer, and we're working on that right now. Which is it's a program that they do in Chicago at a place called Jackson Park, where golfers will be able to come in. There will be caddies available, and the golfers actually they don't have to pay for the caddy. They'll be encouraged to tip them, but it's all funded by the Western Golf Association. And that program, we presented that to them a while back, and we're working on doing that right now and getting that. And the goal is to hopefully by June 1st have that up and going.
I want to say what Curt just said one more time, that at some point this summer, you'll be able to play the old girl, Normandie, and take a caddy and not have to pay for that caddy. Now, obviously, you're going to tip them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a great resource. And then you tie in what they do with the Evans Scholar and the WGA, and it's part of what the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association is trying to do, and the foundation is trying to do is give back. I think that's unbelievable. That's even going to start before the huge project takes over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, how cool would it be in 2, 3, 4 years down the road to say there's a young man or woman going to University of Missouri as an Evans Scholar. For those who don't know what that program is, it's truly one of the most remarkable scholarship programs in the country. You get your full school paid for. University of Missouri is a Evans Scholar. They have what they call the Scholar House, and I don't know the exact number of other universities around the country that do it, but I think this year they have 1,000 Evans Scholars around the country, and those are full rides for 4 years that they're giving out and paying out. So it would be really awesome to say we've got an Evans Scholar coming out of the Normandie Golf Club in a few years.
Well, and all this is great stuff that we're talking about, and great to have Jack involved and also on the fundraising end. Yeah. But that brings us to the fundraising end. I mean, we can talk and we can draw and we can do everything you want. We need some people here in the community with the wherewithal, whether it be individually or corporate wise, to help out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the next step that the group is working on. We're working on finalizing some kind of promotional, video and some things that we can take to the community to really show them. And I think we're hoping that's going to be done here, very shortly, and we can really start getting out there. And the main thing is telling the story. Again, telling the story that what this is all about, and it's just not just about renovating a golf course. So
yeah, I mean that's going to be. For some, that's going to be an awesome thing. And for me, it's going to be an awesome thing. Yeah. But I think in the end, the other things that are going to come along with golf being changed out there is going to be the lasting thing. As somebody who's been to East Lake 4 or 5 times, had heard my dad talk about and other people talk about what the area was like. Yeah. I think this is going to be tremendous. Golf is going to be played a lot in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Schedule-wise, I know you've announced the pairings or the matchups, I think, for the opening day of the Selby Cup. Have you done that?
Yeah, all the divisions are out there in the Selby Cup. Yeah, they're all on the website. We had a virtual draw party online a couple weeks ago. We were hoping to do something. Last year we were hoping to do something in person to have the captains come in and draw, and just weren't able to find a place where we could potentially have 45 or 50 people together. So we did a virtual. I think we had 18, 19 clubs join us online and do that. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, the draws are out there. The divisions are out there, and they should be scheduling those matches to get going. So for the summer.
And the Metro is always updating people at their website, always information, the newsletter, all the good stuff that they've got schedule-wise.
Yep.
Is the Warson Cup before the Gateway National or after this year?
No, it's after. It's actually the first week of June this year, June 5th and 6th. Where typically we're that first weekend in May. I mean, we're just fortunate that we're able to have that we're going to have the 2021 Cup after not having it in 2020. But Old Warson's got a little construction project going on over there on Warson Road. If you haven't driven by, it's a big tennis and pickleball court construction project going on right at the first tee. So the first tee was kind of tore up, and they're hoping that we might be good to go on June 5th. But anyway, we pushed it back to June 5th and 6th, but no big deal. But which would be even better. Hopefully the weather should be great.
Are they moving the tee?
No, they're not moving the tee. It's all those hedges, that were down the right side. Those all came out, and no, the tees, the tees are all pretty much staying the same on number one. So.
And what do you think of the changes on 16 and 17?
I think they're spectacular. We haven't played anything there yet, but it's visually, I think it's amazing to sit back there in 16 fairway and look down through there, no trees, and see 17, the new par 3, and 16, the way the green sits right there on the water now. I think it's awesome. And then in the back tee on 18 is, it shifted to the right a little bit and back, so it's a little more of a dog leg. So it's going to be exciting to get out there and see some matches played on those new holes.
So Gateway, kind of the first one on the local AM series, other than U.S. Open qualifying, also in a round coming.
Yeah, really, that'd be the kickoff. We've got May 15th and 16th is the East Side Amateur. Before that, we do have we got actually this coming Wednesday. We got U.S. Women's Open qualifying out at Old Hickory. We got 52 players playing for 2 spots to go to the Olympic Club, 2 ladies, and really a pretty good field. Got some names. We got Mariah Stackhouse, if you know that name, Emma Talley. Both those girls played on the Curtis Cup team for Ellen Port when I was here at St. Louis Country Club.
Yep.
Got a young lady from, not exactly where she's from. Her name's Austin Kim. I know she made the cut at the Augusta National Women's Amateur, a few weeks ago. She's in town. Locals, Drew Neathouse, the young lady from St. Albans who's going to Penn State next year, is playing. There's another young lady from Springfield, Missouri, named Reagan Zablinski, who actually qualified for the Women's Open a few years ago, and I think one of the youngest ever to qualify. She was young, but she's a high schooler. She'll be here. So anyway, that's 36 holes on Wednesday. Forecast is not looking all that great for Wednesday, but we'll get by with that. And then a week from tomorrow is our amateur series, and I can't tell you how excited. We have 103 players for our first amateur series, and I don't think we've ever had over 70 in an amateur series. But we have 103 registrations for our first event a week from Monday at Winghaven Country Club. So that's beyond exciting. We talked about earlier in one of our first ones about the women's event. We got, I think, 13 ladies signed up to play. So that's extremely exciting. It's very, very cool.
You watch. You're gonna have to turn people away before too long. Or you're gonna add more or different stuff. I think because of what happened last year.
Yep.
It got some more people a little more active. It may have gotten some people that had kind of become less active, more active. And I think there's some people now that realize I can test my game against Joe, a 15 handicap. I don't have to test my game against Skip Bergmeyer. Right. You know what I mean? I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's I was floored. I was watching, I was watching the entries come in, but those last entries closed on Friday, and this last couple of days, they just came in, and to end up with 103 is that was our goal 7-8 years ago, or 10 years ago when we started this, to get to that, and here we are, first event of the year, 103. So that's very, very exciting.
You've done it. Congratulations. It's been all grassroots, and it's been pretty much all you. So way to go. Way to go with the Normandie thing. You and I are both so excited because we've been watching and waiting and hoping and somewhat involved, and it's happened. And I know that in the coming week, I know next week Skip is interviewing Jim Holtgreave. Yep. So that'll be really cool to kick off Skip and a Stick, and then you and I'll get into some competitions coming up, and we'll always have our eye on what's going on out at Normandie. Thanks for taking time to talk to me, and huge announcement.
Yep, huge announcement, and thanks, Jay, and it's exciting, and this is really kickoff week. We haven't. This is our first event this coming Wednesday. I didn't miss any of the weather last week. I was actually in Phoenix all week conducting a Ladies National Golf Association Championship, which was really exciting. It was the first mid-amateur, senior amateur championship that they conducted, and for a national, and it went really well. So it was it was very cool to for that organization. For those that don't know, we administer, or the administrative body for the Ladies National Golf Association, and to kick that off and have their inaugural Mid-Am Senior Championship to give, which is, there's not a lot out there on the national spotlight for the mid-ams and senior women to play.
Right.
Yeah, and so that was pretty neat to be able to do that. We did that out in Phoenix last week, and so a lot of good stuff going on. And here we go. We're I guess this is it. So
doing good things, my man. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
You got it.